You asked him, Gerald, about the second apron. This is what he had to say.
Great question, too.
Yeah, so I don't know what the second tax apron, what is that?
Mat Ishbia talked yesterday. You asked him, Gerald, about the second apron. This is what he had to say.
Great question, too.
Yeah, so I don't know what the second tax apron, what is that? I'm saying. So the way I look at it is this. We're trying to win. So I talked about four things, and obviously I know you're talking about Grayson and Royce, and we have other free agents as well. But the way we're looking at it is we're trying to win a championship, and we're going to try this year, and then we're going to try to figure out how to do it next year. And signing free agents is what it's going to take. And having someone's bird rights gives you an advantage to be able to keep those players, even if you're into the luxury tax. And we're not frivolous with money and just spending money to spend money. What we're trying to do is win a championship and build the best team possible. And it's not just players, it's culture, it's team members. And Grayson and Royce, if those are the two you're speaking of, are two great guys. And Royce is new to the organization, has done an amazing job, everything you could think of. And Grayson's been here all year and has been a phenomenal part of the team and the organization. So we hope to and expect to have both those guys back, along with keeping this core team together, because we love our team and we're going to go compete at the highest level, hopefully in the playoffs here very soon. Hopefully you can see them all play together.
The best thing about this, and what you can't tell from the audio, is he says that about the second apron while standing next to the commissioner of the NBA, the man who helped institute the second apron.
Yeah, but I mean, to Adam Silver's credit, he did say that they're constantly evaluating things, and this was a decision between not only the NBA but also the Players Association to do this and see how it works out. And obviously, there's benefits and there's obviously some minuses to this, but what I love about Mat Ishbia is that he's always going to stay true to doing the best that they can to put the best product on the court and put the Suns in a position for success. He's never going to back away from that. And again, there's a multitude of things that can lead into this. One of the things that Jerry Krause got shit on a lot for is saying that players don't win championships, organizations win championships, which was a horrible thing to say when you have Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen on your team, right? However, there is some merit to that in terms of you need a combination of both. And if the vibes are good in the building and everybody's pulling the rope in the same direction, then it makes it easier for the on-court product and the players to feel a part of your organization and want to thrive for that organization as opposed to just wanting to get the next boat out of town, right? So I do appreciate what Mat Ishbia says, and I do wonder what that wiggle room is going to look like in the offseason, because there are some realities that are going to hit this team in terms of financial compensation for players and then the tax that will ensue after.
The irony is Jerry Krause said that and destroyed the vibes in saying it too, and they've paid the price ever since.
What was reassuring to me is that we hope and expect to have those guys back, because as much he legitimately, when I asked the question and he said that, I was like looking at him like, wait, is he for real for a second there? I wasn't sure if he was joking, but he knows the new CBA, the salary cap rules, all that good stuff inside and out. And he's aware of the fact that there is no incentive to letting these guys walk. Right. I have been talking a big game this whole time about like fans don't care about what my luxury tax bill is. They want to win. They want to keep talent here. He understands there's zero incentive from a team building standpoint to let those guys walk aside from him shaving money off his bill. And there is going to be a hefty luxury tax bill. This is the biggest test that he's going to face as an owner from that standpoint. But him coming out and publicly saying we want and expect to keep those guys is huge, because they do have his bird rights, like they mentioned, for both Grayson and Royce O'Neal. So they can re-sign them for whatever. The only possible hiccup is that luxury tax bill. But guess what? You let one or two of those guys walk, you are not replacing what either one of them brings with your vet minimums, which is basically all you're going to have as a second tax apron team. So it's really reassuring to hear him continue to back up what he's been saying all along. I don't care about the luxury tax. Our focus is on winning, and money will follow that.
Go ahead.
No, I will say, first of all, fantastic question.
Well, thank you.
That was a fantastic question. And I loved you getting some props. I was laying in bed watching AZ Family broadcast. And did y'all see that? They brought you up on the
did they?
broadcast. Yeah,
That's
it
nice.
was like my guy Gerald Bourguet asked his question. I'm sitting there like, yeah, that's my guy, man. So that was pretty cool. But more
Did they say
importantly,
PHNX? Because that's all I care
they
about.
said Gerald Bourguet,
Oh,
man.
damn.
They said big dog Gerald Bourguet. But anyway, but more importantly, from your question, something that I liked was you never mentioned the names.
Mm.
You just said free agents,
Mhm.
and he went and said, "Yeah, I know y'all talking about Royce and Grayson.
Mhm.
Like that was cool for me to hear because one, he's letting you know, man, listen, you ain't even gotta say their names. I know who you talking about, and I fully intend to bring them boys back. And I'm not gonna sit here and recklessly spend money. But I know what time it is. I know exactly what you're saying. I loved how Adam Silver got into, you know, the negotiations between the teams and the players and how that money is divided up into the players and how it all makes sense and how they'll evaluate things later. So I thought it was a great question. I thought it was really good insight into what Mat Ishbia is thinking. And I left that situation saying there's no way on God's green earth Grayson Allen and Royce will leave.
Oh, time out.
Go ahead.
Time out.
Go ahead.
Okay, I get it. From our side of things and from Mat Ishbia's side of things, sure, fantastic. But listen, it is a business, and Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen also know, like, hey, like, we kind of got you by the short and curlies right now.
But why wouldn't you pay them whatever they're asking?
Yeah, you gotta
Because
pay them.
Well,
it don't matter at this point.
I'm telling you, like, there's a certain point where it will matter. Like, listen, guys, like, I get that they're going to do everything they can to bring them back, but when you're talking about paying 4 times as much per annually when you hit that second tax, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but if you don't sign those guys, you're not winning a championship.
Yeah, you're done.
And you can't get anybody except for that minimum.
And you know,
I know.
I think
So
when you made both those deals, you knew what you were getting into. Here's another thing, though. I mean, I don't see another team like. I'm just going to throw a number out there. I think Grayson Allen in the last 2 days has put himself in the $20 million a year conversation.
Yes.
And he's worth it.
And he is. But I don't see another team saying, well, I'll give you 25. Like, I don't see that. I think that's going to be around what he's worth. And I don't think he's going to come back to the Suns and say, well, you know, X team offered me 20, so I need 20. I don't see that. I don't think it's going to be a bidding war. I think it's just going to be, hey, this is what I'm worth. This is what the market is telling me I'm worth. And you're just going to have to man up and match it.
Well, and you just brought up culture, too, and building that so people don't want to go. And I'm not saying they'll take discounts, but I think as long as you're willing to pay in the ballpark of what the market dictates it, I don't think they're going to want to go because they got a chance of everything they want. Get the money, win a title. And I don't think Mat Ishbia is going to go, oh, well, you know what? That extra $5 million is where I'm not going to go, and we're just going to go sign ex-veteran minimum guy who's not going to do anything.
No, I don't think they're going to do that.
I think they're going to sign both of them.
But I also think that, you know, when you're paying $100 million a year, paying Grayson 20, but you have to pay 100 every year. You don't just slough that off like, oh, he's got billions of dollars. That's cool. That's $100 million every year for one player.
But he's
$100 million 1 year for a player.
But
that's more than you're paying KD and Book and
the reality is
together.
The reality is you're either in it to win a championship or you're not. And that's the price of winning a title in the NBA because your options are do that or trade somebody like a Kevin Durant or a Devin Booker to get any other talent in here. And you're not doing that if you've committed to this.
Here's another thing. There is a theory where you get them under contract. And then you have the option to move them if you have to and not, you know, so listen, I will say this. Grayson Allen, when he first got traded to Phoenix, I looked at a top 50 free agent list. This is right after the DA trade. And again, I don't want to, I can't remember exactly where he was, but I want to say Grayson Allen was like in the mid 35 to like 40 range on the top 50 free agents when the deal first got done. I just went back and looked at a similar article, top 50 free agents. He's number 8 now.
Yeah.
And so there's a part of me too that thinks that Grayson has to know that being here just got him a bag that he had no business getting had he not come here. And so there's a part of me that believes that in good faith, both both parties are going to do the right thing. Because I think Grayson, listen, I'm a better basketball player playing for the Phoenix Suns, and I just got generational money by coming here and playing on this basketball team. And so I think they find a middle ground.
And I don't think, here's the thing with Ishbia, maybe there's a chance that the price tag gets too much for Grayson and for Royce because it is a lot of money per dollar that you spend with those luxury tax ramifications. But he didn't have to come out and say that when I asked these questions. And every time we've asked these same questions, he's come out and said the exact same thing. So, and he knows, like, if they don't re-sign these guys, your team is in trouble. You have no hope of getting, you have no mid-level exception. You have no room exception. You have no biannual exception. Your trades are going to be limited. You can't do like 2-for-1 or 3-for-1 deals anymore. Your buyout options are limited. Like, you have to bring them back if you want to continue to compete, no matter what happens this year. Even if they lose in the first round, you still have to bring those guys back because you have no other option other than taking a significant step backward.